Not leave. Bro, leave before I have to make you leave myself.
You're not gonna hit me.
Dog, I will slide you. I will slide
What
you.
you gonna do? You're not hitting me. You're not gonna hit me.
Both of y'all leave right now. Bro, you're not. Now get out.
Nigga, that ain't even hurt.
Hey, delete that video, bro. Oh, bro,
Yeah.
what? Now get out. Wait, you did that by punching me? Yeah, pick him up off the couch. You did that by punching me? Yeah, peel him off of my couch.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to this month's review of Chapter 74. Let me tell you, I am in utter agony and pain, so much that it can't be measured. My favorite character in the series just got sunned. Daemon pulled up and wasted no time in setting the boundaries with these two kids. He made damn sure that they knew what was going to happen if they tried to kill Eida. That damn kid wasn't even going all out. Look at the punch he gave Code, or the kick he gave him. Then look what he did to Boruto and Kawaki. He literally held back and they still got knocked out in one punch, opposed to Code, who at the very least was able to get back up. If you're someone who somehow thought Boruto and Kawaki stood even a chance against Code, then this alone is confirmation that they still got some time left before they can hang with the big leagues. Now, before we dive in, I usually just cover some topics brought upon by the chapter itself. There should be timestamps on this video for you to go through. Of course, some chapters will have more than others depending on how informative it is, but as of now, I figured we should start with the pacing issues of the manga. And I essentially want to debate if the manga was better off being fast-paced opposed to it being slow like it is in this arc. And honestly, the way I see it is that, yes, the fast-paced Kawaki arc was lacking a lot of things that didn't get answered until the anime had to go at it, but I think it being fast-paced fits so much better in a monthly manga than it does in a slow, especially when Eida and Daemon are center-focused characters in an arc like this. I think if anything, this arc should have been the one that was fast-paced compared to the Kawaki arc, because at least the content and story was better then, so it moving slowly wouldn't have been as bad as it is here. But Eida's lovey cringe fest moments kind of make it a little annoying to read. Not to mention when you combine Daemon's overwhelming power, and yes, I'm still salty my boys got knocked out like that. What I'm trying to say is that I don't get why they just didn't stick with what worked. Keep the manga fast-paced and leave some of the important but less interesting stuff to the anime. Like, for example, this mission that Boruto and Kawaki are on. If this arc was on the same pace that the Kawaki arc was on, I bet you we wouldn't even have gotten this new mission that Shikamaru gave them in the manga. It would have been something added in the anime, and to be honest, that's probably what they should have done. It should have been one chapter of Eida pulling up to Konoha and talking with Kawaki somewhere to start it off. You know, you get some comedy with Boruto and Daemon, but it mostly revolves around Amado and Shikamaru, the characters at this time that are going to be moving the plot forward. It also ends with Amado revealing something huge. That's what this chapter should have been. Then the next one, the chapter ends with Eida seeing Code on his way to Konoha, while Amado, Shikamaru, and Naruto finish up their conversation about who and what Eida and Daemon are. But instead, Code probably isn't going to pull up for another 2 chapters if we're lucky. It's most likely going to be 3 when things finally pop off. So yeah, whatever arc is next, I hope they go back to what worked and understand that cyborgs, if we go off of manga sales, are just not it compared to villains like the Otsutsuki. I get that Ishiki was one-dimensional, but he also didn't have to be. Keep it at Otsutsuki and let's find out about their planet, which was literally stated by Amado that there is in fact a whole planet full of them. Introduce these characters to us and also give us more to them. The manga doesn't and probably shouldn't focus on this being monthly, so let the anime handle that. We can take Kawaki for example. He's dope in the manga of course, but he's so much better in the anime. That's how I would like them to approach this series moving forward. Cause yeah, Ishiki didn't have a lot of character, but he was a very well intimidating villain. I probably liked him more than Kaguya, who literally got carried by Black Zetsu to where the moment she lost him, she ended up being sealed. It at least took Kurama's life in order to defeat Ishiki. That's how crazy powerful and cool he was. Next up, I think this one is something a lot of people are starting to pick up on, but I've had this idea months ago that Eida and Daemon possibly could rather be the 2 Otsutsukis or take in the abilities of them. And with Eida flying and Amado stating right after that it's something the Otsutsuki can do and that Boruto and Kawaki will be on that time soon, he practically confirmed there is a heavy Otsutsuki connection with Eida and Daemon. I think, however, I'm going to stick with the story that Eida and Daemon have those 2 Otsutsuki's abilities, and there's a basis for this. I think Amado somehow gained possession of those mysterious 2 Otsutsuki's eyes and gave it to Eida in order to keep her safe. He also created daemon while also giving him the other Otsutsuki's eyes in order to give her a powerful guardian. I was thinking how it was random that the counter to Eida's ability is siblings and Otsutsuki specifically. I was thinking that if Eida and daemon bestowed the eyes of those two Otsutsuki's, it would explain why they're so powerful and why Otsutsuki specifically cannot fall to her ability. If the original owner was an Otsutsuki and the ability doesn't work on siblings, then genetically it shouldn't work on other Otsutsuki's as well, since they are all from the same clan. But then what happened to those two Otsutsuki's, and how did Amado even get in that position to snatch their eyes? That unfortunately only results in a wild guess. But what I'm thinking is that he didn't want Konoha to know about those two Otsutsuki's and had their markings destroyed for some reason before giving Sasuke the coordinates to find the Ten Tails. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this gives me a little bit of relief because I was really not feeling how Amado created these two cyborgs that could do the things they do, and it felt at the time we kind of just had to accept it with no explanation. Now, however, it finally seems like we are going to learn about those two Otsutsuki's, who Eida is, and what he plans to do with Kawaki. I'm confidently going to say that from here on out, I don't see us getting a non-informative chapter. It is literally impossible. Amado explaining everything is easily going to take 2 chapters. By then, Code is most likely going to invade, and once that's settled with, Boruto is going to lose it all, and lastly, time skip. That is my prediction for the rest of this arc. I'll say that even though I'm not enjoying this arc as much as the Kawaki arc, it does have some good moments. Yes, chapter 69 to 71 was probably the most painful stretch of Boruto to go through due to how overwhelming and cringe it felt to read. It ties back to what I said about Eida and daemon just being gods with no explanation and having to accept it. That always bothered me when it came to those two. Yet, since it's practically now confirmed there is an Otsutsuki connection, I don't really have that overwhelming feeling when it comes to them. Thank God. It'll be much better to watch this Code arc knowing what I know now as I see daemon and Eida for the first time. And lastly, to end this chapter review, I wanted to talk about the 2 ways I feel like Boruto is going to lose it all. I think being so close to it, it's finally time to give my final predictions because there are some key factors we need to address with this topic. Now, the 2 most important things we need to take in before predicting anything is Momoshiki stating Boruto's blue eyes will take everything from him, and him also stating he doesn't even know why it comes to be. Through this, we know that Momoshiki is not going to be the one to cause Boruto to lose everything. If anything, based off of his last conversation, he was discussing how he was excited to take over his body once he loses his will to live, never talking about how he was gonna take everything from him. So how exactly is Boruto going to lose it all? 2 things, and I'm gonna explain why I think so. Boruto's rather going to gain a ridiculous power boost and be on the level of Ishiki or even a bit better, or a theory that yours truly came up with, Boruto is going to be controlled by Amado to go on a rampage. Let's discuss the first one. If Boruto is to, let's say for the sake of this example, be controlled by Momoshiki, which is his peak strength, how exactly is Momo going to fight off not only Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke, but daemon as well? Because if Boruto goes nuts, I'd imagine he's going after everyone, and Eida for sure would not want Kawaki killed. She would order daemon to dispose of Ishiki, which daemon is very well easily able to do. So how exactly can Boruto be strong enough in order to cause destruction? Well, of course, the only way is to scale at someone stronger than daemon, which would be Ishiki. It's a crazy idea for sure, but at the same time, I'm not wrong. He literally has to be stronger than daemon in order to defeat everybody currently in Konoha. How will he get to this point? I have no idea, but it is something the writers are going to have to acknowledge. The second theory of Amado controlling Boruto is probably more likely. I made a video on it not too long ago, so feel free to check it out, but I basically state that Amado is deceiving Konoha the same way he was to Kara, and the fact that he's in a position at both times to where he's implanted something into a certain amount of people may prove that. With Kara, he did modify them to be powerful, but he also established a shutdown command code on most of them. He has done the same thing now for Kawaki, and with Delta, who he helped create, who's to say that he doesn't have control over her as well? And finally, Boruto. By using Naruto's desperation and stopping Momoshiki, Amado giving Naruto medication in order to stop the Otsutsukification, it takes nothing for him to implant something in those medications that could put Boruto under Amado's control as well. This man is for real a genius, and you can't be mad at him if this turns out true. He planned well. Why he's doing this? Well, like he said to Kawaki, he's willing to do whatever it takes for the sake of his goals. If he proposes something crazy that may endanger Kawaki or get him off of Konoha's hands, that would put Naruto's motto of everyone is family at hand. Because yes, giving up on Kawaki is less of a headache, but that's also his son and completely goes off against Naruto's ideals. This could set off a model to warn Naruto and start off a crazy brawl of controlled cyborgs such as Otsutsuki's versus ninjas. That last part is more of a guess, but I do think there is some truth to that theory. And that, everyone, is all for today. If you enjoyed, I'd very much appreciate some support, and be sure to let me know how you felt about this chapter down below. Thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.